All right, guys, you get the dreaded message from a buyer that the package has been lost that you sent, or maybe you check the tracking information and you see that it hasn't been updated in several weeks. Either or, it is not a good scenario to have a package lost. So today, what I want to talk about on what would LL do, what would I do if my package was lost that I sent to a customer? All right, so you get the dreaded message that the package was lost or that the buyer did not get the package in the mail. This is something that eventually, inevitably, will happen if you have an online business. You will have a package get lost in the mail. So you have to have a plan in place and know what you're going to do when it happens. So really what it comes down to, and there's really only two viable options. You may disagree with this, but this is my opinion. There's two viable options when a package gets lost. You can either resend the item to the customer so that they will get it, what they ordered, or you can refund the cost of the item to the buyer so that they will get their money back from the lost package. Anything outside of that is asking for a customer service problem. It's asking for a bad review. Depending on your business, you may want to handle it a different way, but it's just really hard to expect a buyer to pay anything extra or not get what they ordered or be out money for what they ordered for something that wasn't their fault. I know it's not your fault either, but you're a business owner, so you have a little bit more risk than the buyer has. And that is the normal expectation with any business, whether they're ordering from, Walmart or Target. If that package gets lost, those businesses are expected to refund or resend. And for a small business, it's a little bit tougher. That hits a little bit deeper. Thankfully, like I said, this is few and far between, but you will have to eventually come across this and probably eat some of that cost. At the end of the day, it is that loss you can still claim on your taxes, and it will come out of the revenue made if you want to do that at the end of the year. So those are really the two options, but really within those two options, it comes down to how easy, or not how easy, but what you're actually selling, and how easy it is to reproduce the item, or even if you can reproduce the item. If it's a one-of-a-kind item, the option is pretty simple there. You're going to have to probably refund the customer because you can't make it again. It's a one-of-a-kind vintage item. But if you can recreate it again, how much is it going to cost to do that? If you're selling a $500 item, it may not be viable for you to recreate that again and reship it again, because you're going to not only be out the cost of the first item, how much it costs to make it, you're going to be out the cost to make however much it costs to make the second item and the shipping on that. So it may just be easier just to refund them for the first item and not send them an additional item. Granted, they could get upset with that option as well, but I think there'd be the chances of them being less upset if you tell them, if you're going to give them the money back and you tell them the reasons why behind not sending them another very expensive item, they're probably going to be a little bit more understanding. But if it's really relatively inexpensive to recreate the item as far as production costs, and it's usually something that I do, I just resend them the item out. Yes, I have to eat the production costs. Yes, I have to eat the shipping costs again, but it's going to make them a happy customer. Chances are they're going to leave you a 5-star review, even though you lost a little bit of money on that one sale. Again, it doesn't happen that frequently, so it's fine for me to lose a little bit of revenue every once in a while. But if you're going to do that, you have to make sure that you confirm their address, because there is a chance that they did put the wrong address down, they moved, they didn't update it within the Etsy app, and that is why the package got lost. And that, if they gave you the wrong address, that is something that maybe you require them to pay for the shipping to send another one, since they did make that mistake. I think that is appropriate to have them pay for the shipping. I don't know if I would require them to pay for the item again, depending on how expensive it is. Maybe I would, maybe I wouldn't, but you can also check the tracking information, and maybe the package isn't lost. Maybe it was just returned to sender. So you know that you're probably going to get that back. So you may just want to tell the customer, hey, it's coming back to me. As soon as I get it back, I'll resend it out to you to the correct address. That way you don't have to recreate the item. And that way you can just resend it when you get it, and you can decide if you want to pay for the shipping for them to get it back or have them pay for it since they had the incorrect address. But again, if the package is just lost, there's no return to sender. It's just, usually you can tell if a package is lost because it reached a certain checkpoint and then nothing's been updated within a couple of weeks. Chances are that package is probably lost. So you know you're probably not going to get that package back, so you have to be prepared, depending on what you're selling and how expensive it is, what you're going to do next with that customer. So that's really an important next step with how you're going to handle that situation. And also, usually what I tell customers too, if I am resending something new, I tell them, hey, I'm going to resend this back out to you. If you do get the original package, just please let me know and send it back. So customers are usually pretty cool with that. I don't know if I've ever had that actually happen, because usually once it's lost, it's lost. But it's always good just to let them know, hey, if you do end up getting it, please send it back. Hopefully they're an honest person and will do that. I don't know, but I always throw it out there and hope for the best that I'll get it back if they eventually get it. Every once in a while, it's pretty shocking. The package gets lost, and then 3 months later, I'll get it returned back to me. I don't know if it fell behind the seat or wherever, but it is a pretty curious thing that sometimes happens with the mail. So those are some different scenarios so you guys can think through what is best for your business and how to handle it. I always recommend lots of communications with the buyer, always positive, always friendly, be solution oriented. And it will take you a long way, and it will help prevent negative reviews and negative customer experience, because that is what you guys want. At the end of the day, you want a positive experience, even though something less than positive happened, with the package, with the buyer, and all that stuff. So hopefully that helps you guys out as far as being able to work through that, and hopefully none of your packages ever get lost. But I think that's a hard thing to wish for, but we'll see. But I'll be back really, really soon with another awesome episode for you guys. Have an amazing rest of your day. If you guys like the podcast, please hop in there, leave a review, leave a like, give a share. I appreciate it, and I will talk to you guys soon.